Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, there shall be 7 weeks. This is a continuation of a series. The focus of these 7 weeks out of Daniel is going to be confession of sin. And again, the context of this series of posts is the course of the Jewish people for the initial 49 years of the 483-year period communicated from the angel Gabriel to the prophet Daniel. The city of Jerusalem has been rebuilt post-exile, the walls completed. And so what happened in those initial 49 years, when you look at the prophecy in Daniel 9:25, there shall be 7 weeks. And what we're looking at is what did happen in those first 49 years of that 483-year period. So, and we can get that from the book of Nehemiah, specifically from Nehemiah 8 through the end of the book through Nehemiah 13. Today we're going to take a look at the first part of Nehemiah 9, verse 1. On the 24th day of the same month, the Israelites gathered together, fasting and wearing sackcloth with dust on their heads. And so we'll back this up a step. The people of Israel, they've returned to God and celebrated the fall feast for the first time as a nation in their promised land and in Jerusalem. Now, the fall feast concluded on Tishri 22nd, and 2 days later, on the 24th, as we just read, Israel, under the leadership of Nehemiah and Ezra, they wasted no time. So 2 days after the solemn assembly, on the 24th of Tishri, we note that the occasion has a serious tone to it, and the description of the scene, fasting, sackcloth, dust on their heads. So humility is the idea. So the people are coming before God in humility. Nehemiah 9, verse 2, and the Israelites separated themselves from all foreigners and stood and confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. So the nation Israel separated, or Badal in the Hebrew, they set themselves apart from peoples of, other peoples. Badal is the same word that's used in the creation week. God divided the day from night, focus, divided, Badal. He separated the light from darkness, separated, Badal is the idea. And so Israel has separated themselves from other foreigners, as well. And you think about it, the same is true for us today as followers of Christ. Believers are not to be part of this world. We are called to be holy, separate, and different. And we should be different. We should look different. A couple of verses on that concept. John 15, verse 19, if you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. So, and especially last year or so, I think we're starting to see more of a divide culturally and throughout the world, between those who believe in Jesus versus those who do not. And we're being removed from social media. We're not part of the club anymore. We can't play there. So you're starting to see some of these things, and the world's not being very friendly to Christians. More anti-Semitism is on the rise. So, people are turning on God's chosen people, the Jews. Second example, 1 Peter 1, 15 through 16, but as he, that'd be Jesus, who called you, is holy, you also be holy in your conduct, since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. God's holy. We're supposed to be holy. We're supposed to be set apart, different from others. We're supposed to act differently, conduct ourselves differently. So that's the idea with holiness and Badal in the Hebrew, separated. And then after they separated themselves, they confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. So this is a corporate and historical confession. The people of the nation of Israel are admitting they are sinners, both currently and in the past, pretty much from their beginning. Israel, as a country, is expressing their guilt. They know they are worthy of punishment, They know they're guilty. But yet the people continued to worship God. And we'll close with Nehemiah 9, verse 3. And they stood up in their place, and they read from the book of the law of the Lord their God for a quarter of the day. For another quarter of it, they made confession and worshiped the Lord their God. So they have returned to God. They're reading his word. They've come to grips with they have sinned from their beginning and continue to sin, but they are now being obedient and moving forward. So, we get to the next section of Nehemiah 9. We're going to just look at effectively, they reflect on the history of God. Who is God? What's God done? And that's going to be the focus of the next post. So, again, these are the things that were happening after Jerusalem was rebuilt post-exile. The wall's up. The declaration's been made. You got 483 years, and this is what was happening in those first 49 years. So this is also going to be categorized under angels. As you can see, categories of the blog. Click on angels is where this is going to be located, because this is the message. The context of these 49 years were prophesied by the angel Gabriel to the prophet Daniel. So that's where we're keeping that. And it's also keywords: confession of sin, Daniel 9, Gabriel, holiness, holy, Nehemiah 9, sin. You can type your name in right here in the gray box below. Type in your email address. You'll receive notification every time we put something out. So appreciate you guys following along. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.